Ladies and gentlemen, it's my honour to welcome Cal Wilson.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. That was a lovely introduction. Please pass on my best to your parents, Covered and Station. Very excited about that. I'm really excited to be doing a gig. It's very strange to be out of the house, I have to be honest. I'm not sure how the crowd work is going to go tonight. Normally I'll ask a question, I'll get a response. Perhaps the best thing to do is if I ask you a question, you just donate to PayPal. And I think that's how we get the idea that you responded. It is, what a weird time. It's been such a weird time. I feel like every day is a week long, but at the same time, it's also only 20 minutes long. Like I find myself going, is it 4 o'clock? All the time, just all the time. I feel like I'm wading through glue. I feel like I go for a run and I try and connect with people, not physically, but I feel like at this time when we all have to be apart, we should try and connect as much as we can. And so I go for my run, and every person I see, I go, good morning. And universally, I get a weird look back. And it was only today that I realised it's because it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I just don't get up early enough to be in a morning. I want to thank everybody that's looking after us. I want to thank all the first responders and the healthcare professionals and the people that work in the supermarket, because what a job to have at a time like this. I used to work in a supermarket when I was a teenager, and what I worked out from working in a supermarket is that people want you to be friendly and efficient, but they don't want you to have a personality. And I worked this out when a woman came through my checkout and she'd squashed her loaf of bread, and so she was patting it back into shape quite sort of vigorously like that. And so I just leant over and went, bad bread, naughty bread. And she just looked at me and went, I'll use the other aisle. But I used to get into trouble when I knew the customers as well. There was a guy who came through my checkout one day. He was a lovely man. He was called Mr. Mason. He was the principal at the school that my mum had worked at for years, so I'd grown up knowing him. I knew he was a lovely guy. He had a dear old beagle called Sam. So when Mr. Mason appeared, I knew exactly what I was going to say. I go, hello, Mr. Mason. How's Sam? And he goes, dead. And I go, oh my God, when? And he goes, today. Like he was literally on the way back from the vets, having put his beloved companion down. Now, I don't know whether you can work this out without my help, but there is no coming back from that. There is no coming back from dead today. Nothing. There is nothing to be said. The conversation is done. Dead today. That's it. No more. I have learnt that lesson so well that to this day, if someone asks after my husband and I can't really be bothered talking to them, sometimes I just do that. I don't. I mean, I would love to, but it does feel like it would be tempting fate, especially at a time like this. I love my husband, which is fortunate because we are married. We've been together about 16 years, and what I love about him is that even though we've been together for that long, I'm still working out new stuff about him. Like, I have only just realised that he does not feel the need to debrief. Like, if he has an experience, he's had the experience, he doesn't need to talk about the experience. Whereas to me, that is half the experience. It's like he has an experience and then he just reverts to factory settings. Tomorrow's a new day, doesn't care. Like if we go to a party, not that we go to any parties at the moment, if we go to a party, he does not feel the need to talk about the party on the way home from the party. That's the best part of the party. That is the best part, where you're sitting there going, oh my God, did you see Dave's face when he accidentally ate that dog biscuit? Or, oh God, can you believe they've called their daughter Shivanthony? Shivanthony is one of my 3 favourite names of people I have met in real life. These are my 3 favourite names. Shivanthony, Brucina, and Darylene. What a pack of assholes those parents were. Why not call them, we wanted a boy, because it's clear that's what you meant. So my husband, right, does not need to debrief. If we go to a movie, he doesn't need to talk about the movie after the movie. I know you're all sitting there going, oh my God, you said he was lovely, but how can he be? He just sits there. I'm trying to talk about the scene. I'm like, oh, didn't you love that bit where the clouds were parting and it was like their relationship dissolving? And he's all like, I just saw some people doing a thing. He just hates it, right? And what I love to do to my husband is I love to torment him. And you can try this at home. It's the best place to do it. My favourite thing to do to him is if we are in a group of people, friends, maybe people he hasn't met before, my favourite thing to do is just to throw out a very boring fact about him into the conversation and just watch what happens. It's a really dull fact. Like when I tell you what this fact is about my husband, you'll be like, why do I need to know that? It's so dull. What I'll do, right, we'll be sitting there chatting and then I'll go, hey, did you guys know that Chris doesn't like fruit? That sounds really boring, doesn't it? But what happens is it irrevocably changes the course of the conversation, because all of a sudden, every single person at the table names a different fruit And he says no. So it goes like this: tomato, no. Apple, no. Like, this is brilliant. And then the conversation will finally drift on after about 15 minutes, and we'll be talking about, didn't you love it when the clouds were parting? It was like their relationship dissolving. And then someone will go, jackfruit, and he'll be like, no. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. It's free as well. It's just the best. I have to admit, I do love to torment him. We've been together for so long, and I've been doing this to him since the day we moved in together, right? So what I like to do is whenever we've been out somewhere, again, I'm not doing this at the moment, but whenever we come home from a night out, I make sure I'm the first one out of the car. I run to the front door. I wait until he gets really close to me, and then I pretend it's our very first date. And I reach up, I give him a kiss on the cheek. I go, thanks so much for a lovely night. And then I run inside and lock the door. I've been doing that for 16 years. He has not laughed once. I finally broke him just before last Christmas. We'd been out for a Christmas party, and I'm getting out of the car as usual, and all of a sudden, he's just sprinting past me. He gets to the front door, he unlocks it, he turns around, he goes, thanks so much for a lovely night! Runs inside, locks the door. And it would have been hilarious, except we had our 10-year-old son with us. It was then just lying on the doorstep going, why has Daddy left us? And I was like, I'm sorry, mate, I don't know, probably your fault. I didn't say that, but I thought it. It's all right. Some of them are just jokes. They're not real. There's like 2 humans in the studio, and one of them was very upset by that. I've been spending a lot of time on Instagram, because what else is there to do? And what I've worked out is that I get quite angry at Instagram. Like, I'm on Instagram for 3 reasons. I follow cats, I follow cakes, I follow drag queens, because I enjoy looking at pictures of delicious, happy, tasty things and cakes. So that's what I follow on Instagram. But if you follow me on Instagram, I'll check you out, I'll see who you are. And I get really cross at people who have motivational quotes as their Instagram bios, especially the ones that you can also buy in Kmart, put them on the wall. You know, the ones like, there's a woman the other day, I got so furious. She put her bio, it was 3 words long, and it was this: live, love, life. And I don't know whether you can work out why I was so upset by that, but it was because 2 of those things are the same. Live and life cover the same ground. It's like it's 3 words long. Couldn't you proofread it? I got so angry about it that I had to kind of workshop for myself why she might have done it. Like, I was like, well, maybe they're her 3 favourite things. Like, so maybe she's like, well, I really like to live, I really like to love, but most of all, I like to life. Like, I just life, 24/7, I just life. I don't know. Maybe she's in prison for life. Who can tell? The reason, though, that I got really cross with her was that she listed her bio as vegan pet food manufacturer. Now, why is that a thing? Like, I get why people are vegans. I understand that you want to treat animals ethically and you do your best for the planet. I totally get that. But that is not your animal's concern. Like, what dog has ever requested a soy patty? Like, I have never heard a dog go, I would like something that resembles a sausage, but is ultimately disappointing. That's the official way that dogs talk. I don't know whether you realise that. Like, I totally get why you're a vegan, but just don't bring your animals into it. Like, if I said to my cat, I'm sorry, you can't eat meat, because that would mean lunch had a family, the cat would be like, I know, the cousins were fucking delicious. Like, there's just no point to it for an animal. My old cat Spook used to leave me the hearts of sparrows under my bed, and I was never sure whether it was a gift or a tiny threat. Like, he was just going Godfather on me. If he'd been a bit bigger, it would have been a full horse. Now, I'm a cat lady, it's pretty clear. And what I've noticed is it's perfectly socially acceptable to say that you don't like cats, but it's not acceptable to say that you don't like dogs. Like, if I stood here and went, oh, cats are assholes, there would be one person in every living room who went, yeah, cats are assholes. But if I stood here and went, I hate dogs, every room would be like, there's an asshole here and it's not the dog. And the thing is, I don't hate dogs, I just find them a bit much in person. I think it's because I was bitten as a kid, not by a dog, but it really put me off teeth. I find dogs just a little bit extra, but I do love watching them in videos. Like, I love dog videos. Like, who doesn't love an animal video? I reckon if you took all of the animal videos off YouTube, the internet would be 7 minutes long. It would just be porn and how to fold a fitted sheet. That's all it would be. And I've realised that because I've always been a bit nervous around dogs, because I did get bitten as a kid, I realised I've got to my late 40s and I don't know how to pat a dog properly. One of the last gigs I was at, I was doing a gig, and I said from the stage, I don't know how to pat a dog properly. Like, I know how to pat a cat. You just follow the grain and then you stop 10 seconds too late. I don't know how you pat a dog. Like, how hard do you have to pat it, like, for the pat to travel through the fur? Like, do you have to beat it like a carpet? Like, I don't know what to do. And so this guy in the front row just goes, oh, for God's sake, you just do this. And he patted his friend. Like, he just reached out and started scruffling his friend's hair. And I was like, oh, right. So you just kind of put your hand in place and you just sort of scruff it. And he goes, yeah, you just kind of scruff it. And he was getting really stuck in. And I was genuinely elated because I was like, oh, I can see how to pet a dog. And he goes, yeah, you just do that. And I was like, could I have a go? And the guy doing the patting went, yeah, sure, go for your life. Now, that is not how consent is supposed to work, right? But I took him up on it, and so I reach over, and I'm patting this guy, and I'm really getting stuck in, and he's got really sort of beautiful terrier hair. It's all curly and wiry, and I go, oh, that's great, it's great. And I left the stage just feeling so thrilled that I had learned something new. And then after the gig, the guy that I'd patted came up to me and went, oh, hi, Cal. I just thought I should introduce myself to you now that you've patted me. And I went, I don't need to know your name to know that you're a good boy. Ah, so good. Hey, thanks so much for having me. I'm going now.
Woo! Cal Wilson! My favourite YouTube commenter this week is Complex Little Pirate. Here she is. Here she is. That was great. Tell me how amazing this comment is, if you wouldn't mind. He says that each week, Complex Little Pirate has tuned in to the show, and that guarantees him at least one visitor per week because the postman arrives. Isn't that sort of sweet,
Yes.
tender,
Yes,
and
poignant.
lovely, but also sad?
Yes.
Complex Little Pirate, we all love you, especially Cal, I think.
Yes. I have a cat called Pirate, so I'm just imagining it's my cat typing. I'm like, I'll be home soon.
I loved your insights about the dog versus cat
Yeah.
person. I'm a dog person.
Are you?
And I actually have never had a cat in my life, but I have two dogs. I have a pug called Gordon, who is an obnoxious dog I think you might hate. And then I have a dog called Peeps, who kind of rolls his eyes at Gordon.
Beautiful.
And my wife insists that Peeps is like a cat, and that if I love Peeps as much as I do, my
You'd love a
best mate,
cat.
I would love a cat, so I should get one. So I'm a cat curious person.
Yeah, well, when this is all over, you can come to my house and hang out with my cats because they're
Sounds
kind
good.
of dog-like. Do you do the voices for your dogs?
If they were human, sort of
Yes,
thing.
yeah. Do you do the dialogue that the dogs are having?
Yeah, I
What-
do.
What
I
sort of
think,
voices do they have?
Gordon, the dumb pug, would just kind of be a jock. It's like might have like a Southern Cross tattoo, and sort of would just be into really hideous music, and would go, "What are you doing?" But Peeps would be like, "Oh yes, excuse him, I don't think I could."
I feel like Peeps would wear a cravat.
Definitely
Yeah.
Matt Preston vibes.
Yeah,
from
oh,
Peeps.
nice. I love asking audience members whether they do the voices for their pets. And my favourite answer was a woman put her hand up and she goes, I've got a Dachshund. And I went, what sort of voice does he have? And she goes, he's German. And I was like, amazing,
Yeah.
amazing. I went, what sort of stuff does he say? And she goes, I don't know, he's German.
Of course, it makes sense. In this whole new COVID-19 world, I'm used to talking to musicians mostly. I've actually never interviewed a comedian. Should I be scared?
I don't think so. I mean, it seems to be going okay so far.
Well, I'm enjoying myself. But, I'm more familiar with the musical ecosystem. But I know the Comedy Festival has been, cancelled.
Yeah.
This has just been this has had a huge impact on the world of comedy, hasn't it?
Yeah. It's so unfathomable. Like, I'm a worrier, so every year I think about all the things that could go wrong with the show at the festival, but a pandemic is never anything I've come up with.
No.
Like, it's just so unprecedented, as the word now is.
It was pretty much just Bill Gates that knew it was going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so bizarre. And I feel like we had a week when the comedy festival had been cancelled and everyone was very sympathetic and saying, oh, that's awful. And then all of the world went to shit. And it's sort of like, oh, we're all in the same boat now. But it's really weird doing a gig to just beautiful you and beautiful crew and imagining that there's people in the camera.
We loved it though.
Oh yeah, I mean, it was lovely and fun, but it's such a, like, as a musician, I imagine you can kind of feed off the energy of the people that you're on stage with, or you're making a noise, or you're playing your favourite number, but with comedy, it's a lot more naked.
What's interesting is the difference in emojis that were coming through on YouTube. After the musician songs, they were all applause emojis, but during your set, they were all the like happy face, tears, laughing
great.
emojis.
That's so lovely. That's so lovely to know.
It's good. You killed it. Absolutely smashed it. When I think of how my isolation is, I can sit and play a song, compose on a guitar. You know, I've sort of got my own accompanist there. There's a music, there's a sound, and there's a self-contained world. How does a comedian write in isolation? Presumably you can't test material. It's a difficult time,
Yeah,
right?
it is a weird time. What I've been doing is I've been getting on Instagram Live and just chatting to my comedy mates and not trying to be funny, but just going, well, I'm connecting with someone that I care about, and if people are listening, hopefully it feels like they're hanging out with their mates as well. So it's just been, for me, up till now, it's been about connecting rather than trying to create something new, just kind of wanting humans, I guess.
That sounds very positive. Are there moments when you just go, hey, mate, how shit is this?
Yeah, oh, totally, yeah. And then you have to get out of those because otherwise your head explodes.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. How can people support comedians during this time?
I think the links are still up at the Melbourne Comedy Festival page, where if on the ticket pages you can donate money to a comedian of your choice. I would say if you were planning on seeing a newer comedian this year, to support the new younger comedians who you know are just sort of venturing into the industry. They're the ones that really need help and support. And just keep watching gigs like this.
Before we part ways, I asked the people that were commenting on YouTube what I should ask you, and John is wondering, with a 16-year marriage, do you have any marriage advice on surviving isolation confined?
It's really great if you've got a garden. It's really good if you could just be in a different part of the house sometimes.
Just a different temperature, different pressure.
Yeah.
I got you. Ladies and gentlemen, Cal Wilson, everyone.
Thank you
so much.